Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah Elizabeth, and it has been quite a while. I haven't made a video in a few years, and it feels so good to be back. It has been a long moment. Over those few years, I started a full-time job, and so that has been kind of taking over my life, just adjusting to this new stage of life and figuring out what that looks like and balancing time. So making videos kind of went to, the back burner. But I'm so happy to be back and sharing parts of my life with you. So basically, I turned 25, and you know what most people do when they turn 25? They sign up for a half marathon. Or a marathon. I'm not doing a marathon, no. I'm doing a half marathon. I knew I always wanted to do a half marathon. Like, I always would say at some point. And then my brother was like, hey, I'm signing up for this half marathon. Do you want to do it with me? And at that point, I had already gotten back into running a little bit, just like, 5K here and there, running at the gym or in the summer, just kind of casually. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? So I signed up for it in, I think, February. It is now March, what day is it? March 18th, 2025. And the race is on May 3rd, 2025. So less than 2 months away. And so I just wanted to bring you along while I train, because I've been watching a lot of people's training videos and also just kind of learning as I go, because there's so many different things that go into it, like what you need to eat and like strengthening certain muscles so you don't get injured, and doing certain things to get faster, and then building endurance, and then just having rest days, but not too many rest days because you still want to stay active and like keep running throughout the week. So a lot of what I've been up to is kind of implementing that into my life. And today I'm going to go on a long run. Along with my recent desire to start filming videos again, I was like, oh my god, I'll show the people me training for half marathon and what I do. So we'll start this journey together today, but I will catch you up on what I've been doing in the meantime since I figured out I was gonna run this marathon in January. So here's what I've been doing. So like I said, I've been casually running for a while. I did track and cross country in middle school and high school, so I had experience running, and so it wasn't just like brand new, but I definitely got away from it in college and after college, just, lifestyle changes and such. And I love going on walks. I will walk every single day, sometimes multiple times. Love a scenic walk, love any sort of walk, okay? And then at some point this last summer, I started like running for part of my walks, and that kind of slowly got me back into running as a whole, because I feel like you can't just maybe you can, but for me, I can't. When I get back into running, I can't just like go easily run a 5K and then I'm all good and happy. It's like, when I start running, it's like, oh my god, my lungs, I feel like I can't breathe. This is terrible. Why am I doing this? Like, oh my god, I can't. Why do people do this? I hate this. That's what's going on in my brain when I first get back into running. But then it's so almost addicting, because every time you go back and run, you are able to go like a little bit further than you were last time, maybe a little faster, you feel better. So yeah, the first few times I started running fully again, I was like, oh my god, this sucks. But then each time I was like, oh my god, wait, that wasn't like terrible. And so a lot of people, this is my advice, a lot of people just wish they could like start running off the gate and just run like 5 miles. You're gonna have to work up to it. So I again said, I started running on my walks with like no pressure. I'm just like, I'm gonna run until I need to stop, and then I'll walk a little bit and just run. So like it was no pressure. I just like ran what I could, and then I would start going just for runs. And I also would keep it like light pressure, because at some points you could get mean at yourself, like, ugh, why didn't I get to do 3 miles? I suck at this. Like, you're going for a run. That's better than not going for a run. That's my main thing I tell myself. I'm like, going for a run is better than just not going for a run. So like in my head, anything I do, at least when I'm starting, is better than nothing. So then I would go on, I have a bike trail kind of behind where I live, and it's like 0.7 or yeah, 0.75 miles. So even just going like the length of one and as much as I can back, like that was something. And then I would do a little bit more each time. And at some point, I love listening to good music when I run. I just love music. So no matter what song is playing, I'm going to be like feeling myself to it, okay? Once you get past the terrible, like, my lungs, I feel like I'm dying, part of your first few runs, and then keep going, you might even just get a runner's high. When I first experienced a runner's high, I didn't want to stop. You could not make me stop. I was like, oh my God, life is so good. The sun is shining. I feel alive. I want to keep going. I can keep going forever. I was like running to the beat of the song, and I'm like waving to people I pass up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So that's really what got me like hooked back into running. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got past the like sucky, gross feeling part, and I got to like a part where running feels good. And that takes a little bit of time, maybe walking, running a few times a week, and then moving up, you'll get to a good spot. So that's what I did over the summer and like into the fall. And even in the winter months when it was all snowy, I wouldn't run as much. I definitely did go for runs in like a sweatshirt and a hat and, you know, gloves and everything. And I took it slow, but really I just remained active. I went to indoor workout classes a lot, like 2 times a week, just because I enjoyed it. I'm someone who needs to move, especially since I work a sedentary job for 40 hours a week. I'm like, I need to fit movement into my schedule. So going to strength and like cardio classes, which implement lightweight movements and work on your lower body, your abs, your glutes, your arms, just like, I mean, you could do this by yourself with weights, but for me, having someone tell me what to do and standing in front of me and like there's a set time that everyone is collectively doing it helps me get workouts in. So yeah, I've been doing 1 to 2 workout classes a week, those strength and cardio ones, or yoga classes, whether it's slow flow yoga or like sculpt yoga, you know, the more intense one. And I do mat Pilates a lot, which helps build strength in honestly mental power, because a lot of it is a little painful. So just knowing you could get through the class and like each time you go, you improve. That's what I love about working out in classes, is like, even this past year, I could not do push-ups. Like I said, running felt painful for me. And now I'm at the point, after doing stuff consistently, it was like in one workout class, she had us do push-ups. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do it. I could easily do a push-up. And then it kept going. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm doing push-ups easily without falling. And that was so exciting to me, because it's hard to see your improvements day to day, but then one day it's going to click and you're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do this before and now I can. So that is really empowering, to just kind of stay consistent and, you know, go to these workout classes, do some runs, and then you'll see some improvement. So the reason I bring up these workout classes is because being active is being active. Like, you doing anything is better than not. And I'm not saying you have to do something every day, but just kind of staying active. I know, like, even if it's not running every single day, finding a workout that you enjoy and feels good for your body and that you feel good and happy after, and makes you feel empowered to supplement with running, is great, because there's more to being fit than just only running. And for me, I'm not great at doing like free weights and stuff like that. I do lift weights and stuff, but when it comes to like strengthening a lot of areas of my body, I'm still learning, so that's why classes help me. But yeah, finding a workout class that works for you and going to that, because running does require a lot of like leg strength and even core strength, that working on those in a way that doesn't feel too terrible, like, definitely helps a lot. So yeah, finding a way to strengthen your muscles and all of that in between runs is a great place to start, and just starting where you can and adding more as you go. Another tip I have is taking your long runs easy. I used to think like, oh my gosh, how are people running 6 miles? I could barely run a mile, but my mile was like sprinting, and then I would be out of breath, like dying at the end. And so really it's running at a conversational pace where I think it's zone 2 running, where you can talk to the person next to you. You're not like, but like at that point you can keep going, and that will build your endurance to where it's a sustainable pace where you could keep adding on, and not where you need to stop after like a mile and like sit for 10 minutes, right? So just taking your long runs, whatever that means to you in the beginning, easy, and just seeing how far you can go without stopping. So I did that my first time in like January, and got to 5 miles, and I could have kept going. I was just like, I have not run this far in a long time. I should probably stop so I don't get injured. But then I've just been increasing since then. So today in March, I'm gonna try to go for, it's March 18th, like I said, I'm gonna try to go for my longest run yet in a very long time, for 8 miles. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and I will let you know how it goes. By the way I nourished myself for this is I had a Celsius. This does keep me energized throughout the long runs. I had fried rice for lunch, veggie fried rice with chicken. So it's like a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, and some veggies. But the carbs before running seem to help me do good. Like, not right before running, but like 2 hours before, or like an hour before, I'll eat. And then yeah, usually I'll have enough energy to get through. And then after, I'll be sure to eat a nutritious meal as well. Definitely some protein in there, a banana, all the things. But I definitely have been trying to make sure I get enough food in me, because food is energy, and 8 miles is a long time. No matter how much you're running, you're burning through a lot of energy and calories. So just making sure to nourish yourself and eat a lot of protein and drink a lot of water. I can always improve on that, but water is great. So that was a lot of rambling, but honestly, that's just a sit down style of me explaining what I've done so far. But from this point forward, it'll be more like structured and less jumbled. But that was just kind of me sharing what I've done so far. But I still have like a month and a half about until the race. So I've kind of got a lot to do until then. So until next time, I'm gonna go attempt to run this 8 miles. It is a beautiful 60-degree, almost spring day with a light breeze. So I'm soaking it up and I'm excited to get out there. If you're on your half marathon journey, good luck and props to you, because no matter where you're at, I know you're gonna finish the marathon, and that in itself is a huge accomplishment. And like I said, going on any run, no matter how far you went, how fast you went, if you had to walk, like, you're doing that. Like, good for you. That should be celebrated, and don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep showing up.